Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's me, MCKOOKIE. I hope everybody out there is safe and doing good watching this video. So, with everything going on right now, been working from home and I have more time off to actually spend playing Warzone with all the craziness going on with the coronavirus. So I put a good amount of time into this brand new Battle Royale from Infinity Ward, and I figured in this video I'd give kind of like my first impressions and how I overall feel about it, and some changes I'd like to see made. And right off the bat, I'm going to say I actually like the game mode. I think it's good, and I think right off from the get-go, they've done a really good job with this. Like, that's, long story short, what I would really like to say. But there are some changes that I would like to see made that I wanted to address in this. Basically, the main thing for me is I kind of hate Battle Royales that are not called Apex Legends. So going into this, I had pretty high expectations. Not that Apex Legends is perfect by any means. It actually has a lot of work to improve on itself. But as far as Apex goes compared to other BRs, I like the fast pace of Apex and all that stuff. So I was going into this with pretty high expectations as far as wanting to come back and play Warzone on a regular basis. And I'm happy that Warzone actually gets quite a bit right that Apex doesn't. So, without rambling on too much, basically, I guess I'll just start by saying the main changes that I'd like to see. And I know everyone's probably heard it by now, but the audio system in this game needs a massive overhaul. Probably of like any first-person shooter I've played, the game has the worst audio in any game, period. I have a pretty good headset. I have the HyperX Cloud Pro 2s, and I can't hear anything. Like, my teammates are super loud, but actual enemy footsteps just don't exist. Like, unless you're sitting in a building, not shooting a gun or not near any gunfire, and you're waiting for a team to come in, you cannot hear footsteps. People constantly just appear on you out of nowhere. That's the problem with the footstep audio. Then you have the problem with the gun audio. Because normally, like, coming off Apex, when I hear gunfire, I can kind of gauge where they are, because Apex, as far as gunshots go, it has a pretty bad audio system for footsteps, Apex, but for gunshots, it's pretty good, and audio footsteps in Apex are much better than this game. But with gunshots in this game, it gets kind of annoying, because you get all excited, you know, you're waiting to get into the action, and you hear gunshots in Warzone, and you think the guy is, you're like, oh shit, get ready to fight, they're right on top of us. And then you look at your radar, and they're not even in the same quadrant as you. Like, your radar's not even picking up the dots. And I'm talking about people firing, like, unsuppressed guns. Like, you have no idea where they are. And it's just really bad. Like, I would prefer some kind of, like, more accurate gauge as to know. It doesn't have to be pinpoint accurate like Apex, because, like, I don't think there should be third-party spam like what Apex has, but they should really have something where I can at least, like, if nobody's, like, within 800 miles of me, I shouldn't hear any gunshots. So that's the main thing, is audio. I feel like that's the main thing that's holding me back from enjoying this game more. Another thing is loot variety. Modern Warfare overall as a game has a good variety of weapons and a very good variety of attachments, and it's a shame that if you don't, like, dig into loadouts, which is a big controversial part of this game that I'll get into in a little bit, there's a lot of pretty cool looking and cool sounding feeling guns that you'll never touch in this game. I don't have Modern Warfare base games, so I went into this game as a level 1 Modern Warfare player. I only play Warzone. I refuse to play and buy the regular multiplayer because it's trash, in my opinion. But basically, as far as the loot goes in this game, the variety's really bad. It's either, you know, an MG34 light machine gun, a pump shotgun, an M13 assault rifle, or an MP7. It's like, there's at least 40 different guns in this game, and there's only 4 to pick up off the floor. If they dropped at least double to triple the amount of guns that are available on the floor, I feel like it would be so much more of an enjoyable experience, and it would in turn be so much more fun to play. Because when you start making your Creative Class loadouts, there's a ton of guns to choose from. It's almost overwhelming for somebody who doesn't actually own Modern Warfare, you know, trying to decide which guns you want to level up and use and all that. And all the guns, for the most part, feel pretty decent. And they look really cool and they sound good. So I would love to, and plus it's tough actually leveling up your guns if you don't commit to making a loadout for them and actually getting kills with that gun that you put in your loadout in the match. It'd be nice to, you know, not be level 80 like I am, yet my Uzi is level 1. Why is my Uzi level 1? Because I've only used it in like the preloading phase of the game. Like, they should have much more guns available for you on the ground. Now, on the subject of loadouts, I think loadouts are great, and one of the main things I like about this game versus Apex, one of the things it got right, is you don't have the problem that Apex does where it's massively controlled by RNG. Like, this game, probably of all the BRs, has the least amount of RNG involved, which is really good. It's nice not losing a game because of something out of your control. I feel like, especially in first-person shooters, when you lose games to stuff that you cannot control, it's not really a great feeling. It's like RNG and, map death fatalities are at the top of the list of what makes an FPS not fun. So the fact that they got rid of that, and it's not like Apex where you hot drop and you go through 2 buildings and all you find are like sniper scope attachments and Mozambiques, and you can actually, have a chance of getting something decent off the floor, whether it is an assault rifle or an MP7, which happens to be my favorite gun in this game. You have a fighting chance. I really like how they did that. But with loadouts, I feel like they need to be too expensive. Like, they need to be more expensive. Like, right now they're 6,000. They should be probably around 10,000 or 12,000. The fact that your teammates can all pool money together, like just give it to one player to buy a loadout box, and that one loadout box can be used by the entire team, is kind of crazy. Like, you should not be able to like play the game for 2 or 3 minutes and open up a bunch of chests, maybe kill 1 or 2 people, and bam, you guys are have a full set of stacked gear and really powerful perks from less than 5 minutes into the game. I feel like that shouldn't really be the case. So I feel like loadout prices need to go up. Loot variety needs to increase. They have the guns, they just need to put them on the goddamn floor. Another thing I don't like is I think snipers are kind of overpowered in this game. They, like, everybody's sitting on a roof. Roofs are very strong because the access to them is kind of dumb. Like, it's funny coming off of, I feel like Apex and Modern Warfare are the 2 extremes. Like, Apex, it's like nowhere is safe. Like, your team can be sitting on a roof and then a Pathfinder can literally grapple up to you, chunk a bunch of you with a Peacekeeper, then get the hell out of there. In this game, you have to go up like 10 flights of stairs. It's crazy. It's actually, like, I like the realism, but it doesn't play very well because, like, you'll be tracking a bounty of guys that are on the roof, and the only way to actually get up there and have a fight is to go all the way up the flight of stairs, and then many times you do that, and you're aiming up towards the next flight of stairs in case they're camping, which at the top of the stairs, which they never are. So by the time you finally get up to the roof, because there's not a lot of chutes to ride up, they're already gone. The team has moved on. So it's not really a fun feeling knowing that people can sit on a roof and you have limited ways to access them. I feel like more ladders should be put in place on buildings and stuff. And just in general, the snipers feel very strong. Thermal should have limited range, in my opinion. I know there's a cold-blooded perk to counter it, but they shouldn't have like as much range as they do to be able to scope in and see everybody, because it's very hard to escape snipers. Another thing too is, I don't know if they can add this, but I feel like every first-person shooter going forward on console, because that's what I'm playing on. I'm on the PS4 regular. They should have a field of view slider. I mean, it's kind of gross that we have to play at such a zoomed-in level when Apex lets you play at like 120 field of view. So I feel like every console game, especially this, should have a field of view slider. It kind of sucks that it doesn't. Another thing I didn't like was that cars are kind of overpowered. Like right now, the joke, especially in solos mode, is if you get in a car, you can just run over half the lobby and you'll probably win. Like cars handle surprisingly well, and like your characters move kind of slow to kind of evade them if you're caught out in the open, and it just feels like they're like overpowered to a joke extent. So they should have less health, or they should be able to like handle as well as they do. But I guess those are just nitpicking things. Most of this video has been complaining, I noticed, but I actually think this game is solid. I love the gulag. I love how you have second chances to bring people back. As long as your team is doing well enough, they can buy you back. I like that. Players who are good at the game don't mind if players who have died come back either, because it's a chance for them to get more kills. The guns feel really good. The map is pretty solid. One main complaint gameplay-wise that I would add is that the first 2 rings move way too slow. Like, they need to be reduced in timer by about a minute. But holy crap, the end rings in this game are fantastic. They are like the most intense FPS gameplay I've ever played. They are so good at how intense they are. Like, the fights get crazy. It's way more intense than even an Apex ranked game. It's just so good. Like, you have maybe like 20 to 30 seconds before the next ring closes after round 5, and it just turns into like Saving Private Ryan type stuff. It's just the end game rings are amazing in this game. So overall, I feel like a couple changes, a couple patches, mostly loot variety, changing parts of the map a little bit, and honestly, just audio. Overall, the audio, and you have a great game on your hands, in my opinion. But overall, solid out of the bat. I give it a pretty decent score, 7 out of 10. And that's my opinion on Warzone, guys. Everybody stay safe out there. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And please stay home. If you don't have to go outside right now, just stay home. It ain't worth it. Watch Netflix. There's a lot of good games out right now, but just stay home, guys. But anyway, thanks for watching the video. Peace.